your daughter,
Yes.
and your new record label.
Well, that would be 4.
Okay, I guess.
Oh, okay. We left out India.
We did leave out India. She's not new.
She's not new. She's not new,
been
right.
here for a while.
She's
India's
right.
always going to
That's
remain
right.
a staple.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah, my new record label is my baby, and my first release is going to be The One. That's the name of the album. It's coming out today.
How does it feel starting 3 New Ventures? And I mean, that's a huge undertaking. I mean, fatherhood. You mean you're really starting over as a father? I mean, India's 21.
Yeah.
She's good.
So
you know, a husband and a record exec. You know,
it feels great. Actually,
it has to.
I mean, it feels great in every aspect. From the husband, you know, I feel like I am so much wiser and stronger and more involved now to be a husband.
Yes.
As a record executive, man, I got so much wisdom in this business now, and I really know how to create my vision, and I've learned enough in the business along the way to know how to, reach people with it.
Absolutely.
And then with fatherhood, thinking back to when India was born, you know, it was joyous, it was incredible, it was wonderful. But when she was born, there was also a lot of fear and doubt, really. Doubt of, you know, because I was a single father. I was in my 20s, I was a single father, and so there was all of this kind of like fear and doubt. Am I going to be able to do this? You know, so now I'm in my 40s, and I'm doing the fatherhood thing all over again. And there is no fear, there is no doubt. There's just like love and joy and bliss. And so, I mean, everything just feels wonderful.
You seem like you're at a pivotal point in your life. So I know you said when you started out and all the things that you have learned along the way. What are some lessons that you have learned that have struck out in you in music and love that you wish you knew at the beginning of your career?
Probably the biggest lesson that carries across in both business and personal relationships is to be rigorously honest with yourself. Your gut usually doesn't steer you wrong, and I think I had a habit, not only in my personal relationships, but in my business relationships, to not pay attention to my gut the way that I should. And that's all changed. I mean, you know, that's one of the things that comes with wisdom. It's like, look, I know when I feel it right here, we gotta go with this. Back then, either I wasn't in a position, like in the record industry, I wasn't in a position to say, this is how we doing this, we're going this way. Or, you know, in the personal relationships, it was almost like letting who I'm with get me to second guess myself on what I'm feeling on the inside. So I would say that's probably the biggest lesson.
Now you have a new album set to be, or is it out, or has it been released?
It will be out in May.
In May, okay. Tell me more about it. I mean, it has to be, I know it's coming from something very, very personal, but I want to know why it would differ from True to Myself, Hurricane. What is the one
about? For starters, I am at the peak of my game. I honestly feel like I'm a better vocalist than I've ever been. I'm a better songwriter. My perceptions of life are more developed and true. And so I think all that is going to be reflected in the music. The other thing is, you know, when you subtract all the distortion and noise that you have to go through when fighting with a record label for attention, for money. That sucks away a lot of your creative energy, you know. And so all that's gone now. I mean, now that I own the record label, I got new problems. I got new problems. I got new ways to figure out how to pay for things. However, I much prefer it this way.
Yeah.
So there's so much creative energy that's free and clear to be devoted and put into an album. So you're going to hear a lot of that in this record. You're going to hear me at the top of my game. You're going to hear me taking chances musically. It's just going to be an amazing project.
What are 3 songs from the album that you're excited for fans to hear?
There's actually, let's see, there's a song called, I think I'm going to give you, I don't think I'm going to do that. That was close, you almost had me. You almost had me.
You see how I kind of made it?
That was good, you almost had me.
Well, okay, since the one will be released off of Jordan House Records, are there any other artists that will be releasing new projects from through Jordan House Records, and namely India? Because I know she's a huge doing things in music. I've seen songs on YouTube.
India's doing great things. Yeah. She's incredibly talented, and she's writing. And I would love for India to be one of the next artists on Jordan House. I'm doing my best to keep her focused on the school right now, and she is wonderfully well. She is, and so we're going to let her concentrate on that and graduate. Okay. But yeah, the priority is the record, the one, and then once that's released, absolutely, I would like to sign 1 or 2 artists.
So you're like, well, cool. And speaking of India, how does she feel about being a big sister? I know she's been pretty much her. She's been the one.
Yeah, she said she's been the one. She said top billing.
Yeah.
You know, she loves, obviously, Lucia, and she's just been so gone. Like, she's got her studio, her job. She has a job.
Okay.
And school.
Oh, wow.
So she's just spending so much time, like, on the go. It's like, you know, we wake up in the morning and we'd be like, what was that blur?
Yeah.
Oh, that was India. She left. So, yeah, but she's loving her little bigger sister.
Yeah, her and I have something in common. I have a huge age difference between. I have an 8-year-old little sister.
Oh.
So it's like a huge difference too.
Okay.
So when I was, I think I was like 22 when my little sister came into play. So she's my little joy for right now. But you always, the thing I love about you is you always seem to remain true to yourself, and I love that album title, When You Came, True to Myself. And I've always wondered, you know, if you were on the outside looking in, here's a new artist sitting over there, what advice would you give them, an up-and-coming artist, on balancing remaining true to themselves and pursuing their goals? Especially in the music industry.
Yeah, I think I would say, you know, when I made that album, True to Myself, I think I made a conscious decision at that point that in the music career, that's how I'm going to approach my career. Because that was my first solo album, but I also had the history of getting signed to a record label, making an album that was kind of me, but more of a hodgepodge of what the label wanted to do and what I wanted to do. And that was the album I did with my sister, Benet.
Okay.
We were dropped, that album went nowhere. And so once I had the opportunity to do my solo thing, I named the album True to Myself because I was like, all right, if I want to do this, then I can't do it that way anymore. I have to be wise enough to listen to other people's opinions who I respect, but at the end of the day, I have to let my own inner barometer make those creative choices for me.
Okay.
And I think that's something that has gotten stronger for me over the years, and so I think if I saw, if I could give any pointers to any up-and-coming artists, I would probably say that. I would say whatever that passion is that made you want to do your craft, whether it's rhyming or playing the violin or piano or singing or dancing or whatever it is, you keep listening to that inner passion. Take other people's advice into consideration, but let the loudest voice be your inner voice. And,
And you can be successful.
yeah.